Hulk Hogan's on trial. Could you tell us more?
Hulk Hogan, as we know, has been circulating in the media now. He's testifying in his $100 million lawsuit against Gawker. Now, to give a little background, $100 million. To give you a little background about this, so it was involving a part of a sex tape which was released on the site of Gawker with Hulk Hogan having sex with a wife of a former friend. Now, Hulk Hogan himself, in part of his case, is basically that he was unaware that they were being taped, and Gawker says an anonymous source mailed it to the organization. So Hulk Hogan, of course, not happy the fact that this came into the hands of the media, and he's testifying to try and get a $100 million lawsuit. Now, the point in which his real name, Terry Bollea?
I think it's Bollea.
Bollea. Yeah. He strapped on his dressy bandana today, when he testified, his black bandana, dressed up in court for the situation. But, so Hulk Hogan today, the issue was involving whether or not the video is newsworthy, and that was a focus on the topic today. So, we've seen this circulate a lot, right, when it comes to someone's privacy being invaded, and he obviously wants a large portion of money to compensate for that. He's claiming that he had no idea this was being taped. He actually stated that when this conversation came up, because it came up a lot with his former friend and his wife, it was often taken as a joke, and he would be like, cut it out. He's claiming that at the point that it happened, his words, I believe, were that it was a dark place in his life. He just split up with his dark place in his wife. Hulk Hogan's words is that it happened during a dark place in his life, right, where he just split up with his former wife, and he was vulnerable, and it happened, and it was being taped, and he's claiming that words came from his former friend, stating to the camera, we're going to retire on this, stating to the wife that was involved in the situation, we're going to retire on this, we're going to sell it. So Hulk Hogan's not happy.
Yeah, and understandably so why he's not happy. There was a few, two quotes I grabbed. One was from the cross-examination, and one was from a Gawker rep. Actually, the Gawker rep is the more interesting one, so we're going to start with that one, which is on element number 7 in the booth, Chikori. I am not going to make a case that the future of the Republic rises or falls on the ability of the general public to watch a video of Hulk Hogan fucking his friend's ex-wife, but the Constitution does ambiguously accord us the right to publish true things about public figures. He's referring to the First Amendment.
Yep.
And he's not necessarily wrong. Granted, a lot of people will, this is a common phrase that you hear growing up. You do have the freedom of speech. Doesn't mean you can yell fire in a movie theater at the top of your lungs if there's no fire. You can actually get in trouble for that if you do scream it. So, in terms of where I side on the case, I know that Hulk Hogan is a public figure and a celebrity, and he's also one of the types that, if they would say in the WWE, he handles the mic better than almost anybody else, right? Yeah. And he puts on a show. But Hulk Hogan's trying to separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea, which makes sense in this situation because Hulk Hogan's the spotlight. Terry Bollea is just who he is when he's not in bandana and handlebar mustache in his whole show. Yeah. Granted, $100 million lawsuit, Jesus Christ. But interestingly enough, from the Aaron Andrews case too, it's like how much do they see of that. If let's say he gets awarded $100 million, well, Aaron Andrews is awarded 55, and she'll see about 10. Yeah. Not a bad payday. Yeah. But $100 million likely do the same-ish math, lawyers, taxes, everything else that goes with it, especially those who you're suing, probably don't have $100. If I sued you for $100 million, I don't think you have $100 million in your bank account. I don't. If you do, you're buying lunch. But I think I have to side with Gawker, and I know it's wrong and it's an invasion of privacy and all that, but I don't see Hogan's case strong enough to say that you invaded my privacy, you did, the tape got out and it happened, and now you're only bringing more attention to it. I actually didn't even remember Hulk Hogan having a sex tape. Yeah. Let alone him, this trial reminded me of it entirely, and now it's back in the mainstream. Yeah, his main case, as you mentioned there, he's actually referring to Hulk Hogan almost in a third person now, when in the case is because he's trying to separate it. In one of the quotes that was ran by the Times, he said, "I'm kind of concerned about Hulk Hogan's privacy, but you kind of give it away." And then he testified, according to the Times, saying, "But in the privacy of your own home, no one invades my privacy." So it is a complex issue because when you're someone who's in the spotlight as long as Hulk Hogan was, and his character has almost been tarnished recently with the whole racism issue that came up, and it's hard to bounce back from that in terms of the character of Hulk Hogan, because could he say that that characteristic was part of Hulk Hogan and not part of him? It's a differentiation that he's going to try and make to try and, I would say, clear up the issues involving his privacy. But when you have a show that was documenting his life for so long, and he actually described that
when he was talking so openly about his sex life in the show, which is one of the cases Gawker and the lawyers are making, is that you openly talked about your sex life. This was something that was in the public eye. So if you can't complain that so much of an invasion of privacy if it's something that you are so open about. It is a double-edged sword because you don't want to see someone's privacy being invaded no matter what. Just because these people are in the public eye, it has no right for him to not be informed of what's going on. He should know what's been filmed and what's been distributed. But if this is a case of someone who's not in the public eye, like Hulk Hogan, if a stronger case of winning it, of course. Yeah. But Hulk Hogan, he's had this character for so long, it just comes to the point that if your case is trying to separate yourself from that man, that's someone you've been in front of our eyes for so long, it becomes a very, very tough case.
Right. I guess we can end with this. As Common once said on a track with Kid Cudi and
I'm ready for this. Here we go.
Do it for the love like Ray J.
And on that note,